How's it going, my good people? Today I want to go over my Jon Boat electronics. I've not necessarily done the boat just yet. I'm about 90% done, I believe. As you can see, I got a little bit of paneling to do here. Just put a little, the plywood is sitting over there. Just, treat it, carpet it, install, and I should be done. I should be done, and also my hatches. Can't walk around like this, or can't ride on the water like that. Even though I have before, different story. Whatever. But yeah, like I said, I just want to talk to you guys today about my electronics. We're not 100% complete, as you can see here. Gotta tidy up some wiring. Just find a way I want to keep it hidden. Find a way to place this up here so you won't be able to see it or anything like that. And it's not too bad for me personally, but just finding a way to keep it out of sight. That's next on the list. But I just want to get a video out to you guys on my Jon Boat wiring, my electrical panel here. It's just a simple box made. And like I said, I'll explain all this in just a few seconds. I'm going to take out all my rods so you guys can see how all this electronic stuff is working here. All right, stand by. All right, guys, so like I said, we're just going to talk about how I wire my Jon Boat. First, as you can see, I have a small screw here. This is actually what I'm keeping all my wiring behind this little panel here. This, as you can see, my rod locker. This was just a void space in this little section here. So I decided to do all my wiring and stuff inside of this. I didn't want to necessarily take away space inside of my little foot area, I guess you should say. I see some guys have like enough room just for your feet to fit in. I'm sorry, I'm 6'4". And I didn't want that to be the case. But yeah, like I said, this is just a little panel here, and I got one screw. That's the only thing that's holding this up, and this fits nice and flush up in here. So I undo the one screw, give myself a little slack from the lights here, and I can pull that straight off. The lights are just attached with the 3M tape that came with them in the back of them. So, and they're just sticking straight to the aluminum. So far so good. It's been real cold lately. Well, I say cold. It's been 40s lately, and it's been holding on pretty good. My thing is, when it comes summertime, when it gets real hot, how would it withstand? How would that 3M tape withstand? Otherwise, I have to figure out another way to keep those posted up there. But like I was saying, I'm just using this panel here as my I guess my panel board to connect my electronics. Nothing set in stone just yet. This is just a quick, let me get her done so I can see how it looks and runs kind of thing, and learn some stuff on the way. And nothing's permanent right now. I can redo absolutely everything. I'll probably end up buying smaller screws so this fits properly. This is just a half-inch sheet of plywood put against this panel. As you see through these little screws here. Well, that was before I added all the carpet, things like that. I know it looks like a jumbled mess, but I only have 2 lights. As you can see already, the lights that go to all my compartment area. And this first switch, which will be to my navigation lights. And I'm going to hook those up for you guys real quick. So like I was saying, that second light is going to be my navigation light. Well, I'll show you that, but one here. Okay. And the other one, like I said, this post already came with the boat before I purchased it from. So yeah, that's literally my navigation lights right there. So, and that sits nice and over top of my trolling motor, which I was glad about. I didn't necessarily want the one that sat here. I was afraid of, possible interference as far as someone seeing me from off in that direction. So I'm glad it came with the post, sits up a little higher. All right, so back to the panel. So what I'm using here are things that I guess I say you would need. Of course, your switchboard here. Make sure you know how many switches you want, or how many items you want to have on a switch. I personally, as you see, nav light, under, I guess, storage lighting, possible interior light. Like I said, I might do lights around this. We'll see. and then bilge pump. If I want to hook that up to my live well, which is there, but that's literally for tournaments. But I know it's a way you can hook that up via my switch here. Otherwise, I go out and just have fun fishing. So I'll leave this area open and won't have that cooler in there. And I'll possibly use this, the live well that came with the boat. Please release me. But this live well that came with the boat, you pull the plug, let it fill up. But I kind of use this for a cooler. It's all insulated, so I've already tested it out. It holds ice for a pretty good while. Not necessarily as long as one of those, but for a day trip, it holds ice pretty well. So that's that. Otherwise, I'll use that as a regular cooler and use my live well for the bigger fish. All right, so let's get back to this here. Like I said, I know it looks like a jumbled mess, different colors, all that, whatever. But regardless, like I said, I only have 2 switches running at the moment, and I was happy with that. As my first time doing anything that has to do with hooking up electronics. But I'm just gonna tell you guys what I know. So first things first, everything has to have a positive and negative course. And I'm gonna start with my battery. These 10 gauge wires, they're running through the side of the boat here, through this little slot, through and coming out, connected, the positives connected to my fuse box there, negatives connected to the negative bus bar down here. So how I have my, I guess, circuit running, like I said, positive coming back from you. Yeah, positive coming here, coming through side, coming out here to the fuse box. The fuse box powers my switchboard. Okay, switchboard takes that power and I push it straight to, well, the fuse panel here has a negative running to the negative bus bar, okay? That's what's keeping these lights on here and running this all together. But as far as my lights going, so I have, like I said, power coming from fuse to the switch panel, back out from that switch, back out to this fuse box here. And this fuse box is just for anything I tag on to run to a light, to an item kind of thing. So if I do short it, which I did before on accident, and I cut one of my 20 gauge wires. I cut them together on accident, and then the lights were still on. So that cut with that metal tool, shorted the circuit, came back, blew a fuse in here. So at least I know it works. Like I said, I know it looks like a little jumbled mess here, but it's very, very simple once you get the hang of it. Everything needs a negative, and everything needs a positive. So, like I said, that's how I run. Power into here, power through the switch panel, power back out through the switch panel to an item. An item will have a negative. That black is my negative for these lights here. That black came back through, down, and I split them off right here. So that black went down to the negative bus bar. Positive was what initially came out of that fuse. Sorry, but I had those mixed up. So my power is coming from this box here into the fuse box, out to where it needs to go. Same thing with this. This is my navigation light. Like I said, I know it's different colors, things like that. You guys want to see something real nice, you go to Fire Ant Fishing, go to Michael Lopez, and you'll see a very, very detailed and legit workstation control panel. All right, guys, so I just want to go real quick about my switch panel box that I made here. I did ask the Facebook Tiny Boat Nation page. If you guys haven't followed them, please go ahead and follow that page. Great page, great insight, great community. You guys definitely check them out. So I asked the Tiny Boat Nation page different ideas of how to do a switch panel. Seen those guys' ideas, all great ideas, how it worked for them. You'll see some that are integrated into the panel here, some that are, flush mounted with the seat where you open up a hatch and you have access to your switches. It's all in how it works out for your project. But how my project was going, I couldn't necessarily figure out exactly what I wanted to do. Like I said, I didn't want to lose leg room in here with me sitting in this area. I didn't want it too far away from myself. I was thinking about this wall, but like I said, it just And then that's, you know, where's wiring going? How is it going to wire through the boat? A lot of planning, things like that going on. So I figured that this would work best for me. I just made my own box, like literally box. As you can see, this is just angled aluminum that I actually had scrap angled aluminum, which helped me make that box there. And I forgot the exact measurements, but my main goal was to make sure I had enough space for this to fit through, my switch panel to fit through this area here. I made a little bit of, you know, extra little space there for that top, but that's that. But this here worked out great. It allows me to, you know, push wires all back in, and they all come through here, connect to where they need to connect to. I close the entire, I can't do it one hand, kind of hard to do it one hand. Close the entire panel up, and that's all she wrote, as you guys seen earlier. You know, so that's just how it worked out for me, and I'm okay with it as long as it works for me. I'm good. And hopefully an idea like that could possibly work, you know, work for one of you guys' situations. I have no clue what that is. Real quick, just want to reiterate this 10 gauge wire that I ran through here. That 10 gauge came to this panel from my panel, from the fuse box here. I ran, like I said, I know it's messy, but I ran my, I think it's 16 gauge up and through to connect this panel here. This panel you had to have, I don't know if you can see this. This is a separate hot. This is a separate hot. Let's say a hot positive. This blue is a positive. This blue powers. This blue right here powers each one of these, all your switches. And then, like I said, it was a small manual. It was a small manual that came with this that told you, you know, which one does what. So you got 1, 2, 3 positives, and then that means you should have 3 negatives that need to go back to your negative bus bar. Okay, majority of these items you can find on Amazon, but like I said, 10 gauge from the battery, 16 gauge, which ran with this, as well as the 3 negatives I connected. These 3 negatives back down to the bus bar, like I said. And while it's all different colors, I had extra wire, so I was like, why not use it? And it was proper gauge that I wanted to do. So 10 gauge to 16 gauge, and what was powering my lights and my navigation lights are 20 gauge. Again, like I said, I apologize, it looks all jumbled, but when you do your project, you'll know what runs to what. And like I said, I only have 2 switches right now. So the only 2 that actually have, wrong switch. Okay, so the only 2 that actually have power coming from them, well, I'm actually running something from it. So you see how these have, it's nothing there, nothing there. These are so I can connect 2 more items, okay, to those 2 extra switches I have. This switch is the lights that you're seeing on right now in the boat. My LED light strips. And then this one right here, like I said, you got empties. And then you have, like I said, my LEDs, and then this goes to my navigation lights. Okay. And as you see me move those 2 wires, those are the ones that are going through another fuse box, through a fuse box, and then I run my power to where it needs to go. Okay. And then the negative, where the negative needs to go, back down to that negative bus bar. In this case, it was this one right here is the my LED lights. This other one right here for the navigation lights, that's my black. I just split it. I just split the wire because the 20 gauge wire came together. I just split it and put the black down to the negative bus bar. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. If you guys want to, like I said, a little further detailed explanation of each item, you guys can go check out Fire and Fishing as well as Michael Lopez. Those guys did a great job as far as explaining. I'm just showing you, like I said, what's worked for my boat. And like I said, that slides right up in there. I have 1, 2, 3 screws that go straight into the aluminum, which closes that up nice and snug like. So, no, well, actually I have 2 more for this panel. That one and that one's a screw there. that goes into the aluminum for that panel. So that's that. So real quick, I just want to show you how I ran my wiring. I know, like I said, I know this looks like a jumbled mess. Excuse it. All right, so let's say this is all put back together, looking all pretty like, right? So again, I just kind of tuck away. I made a little through hole there. Kind of tuck that back away. And this, I know I ran extra here just for this reason, if I want to open it up. To, you know, in case I do emergency work on something or something went wrong. Let's check things out. And from that, but from a quick glance, you know, you don't even worry about it. But real quick, how I ran that. Remember, my power came off that last fuse box, right? Of saying give power to my lighting system. And that negative, the black negative there, that got sent back down to the bus bar. But with the LED strips, everything needs a positive and a negative connection. And I'll do a whole video on how I solder these together, and then heat shrink over top for the best of my ability, a waterproof seal. Like I said, I'll make a video of how I soldered that together. So positive, negative connects there. You run your distance. Like I said, I did as much as I could in this little area, so I could light that entire thing. All right, so like I said, once I came through here, this wire went through, and I made I'm using my phone light to help you guys see, make sure you guys can see. But I made a through hole through this piece of metal here. It's actually up and above this styrofoam, but it's up and above the styrofoam. Runs back through right here. I had a nice little strip here for my rod locker area. So that worked there, and as you can see, I made another through hole coming off of that. So that feeds back into my other compartment. So as that came out, I made another through hole. I ran the power, soldered here. So ran the power through there, soldered there, got a strip there, soldered, through hole, solder again, another strip here, and so on and so forth. Quick connection. Like I said, I'm gonna find a way to keep this up. I haven't decided just yet of how to do it, or haven't. Then another strip here, of course. You guys can see another through hole there. And you come out to this side from that through hole. I didn't run a strip on this side here because if light is facing this way, I think it can be pointless. I wanted my light to go back towards, you know, everything that I will be working on or doing or need light for. So I didn't run a light this way. I make sure everything was going that way. So as you can see there, solder strip, solder to this last long strip here. That last long strip there. And that's it. You don't need anything else on the edge of that. Like I said, as long as that original one from the beginning had a positive negative connection, you can run just fine all the way through if you keep connecting your LED light strips. So yeah, so like I said, I know someone's gonna be like, hey man, where's all your conduit for all your wiring? So if you think about a vehicle, there's wires going through your vehicle, and your vehicle sits outside year round, or at least mine does. As you see, my boat's in the garage at the moment. The wife gets to the garage when I finally get a boat tarp. We'll see about that. But if you think about a vehicle, the vehicle has wires in it and sits out. I'm in Maryland, so it sits out in very pretty rough weather, whether it be cold or extremely hot during the summers. So I didn't think that I would need to run conduit here anyway. But yeah. And conduit, it only helps but so much. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks nice and all, and if you run conduit, no problem. By all means, you go run conduit, okay? If water gets to it, all my solder connections are waterproof. The wire is waterproof, so I believe it should be just fine. I plan on running some LED lights back here as well. Don't worry about that. We'll fix that later. Had a little gas leak. Thank you, Shop Towels, for helping me clean it up. Now for my navigation lights, again, which is my first switch here. That's my navigation lights. Yeah, there. Right. So for my navigation lights, of course, I ran under and through. Same area I came in through with my 10 gauge wires, where I came out with my navigation lights. Now this wire is going to end up being tucked up under and, you know, connected to properly, kind of thing. So don't worry about that for now. Make sure I finish this job here. What we have here is a connection of my navigation lights. I did put a heat shrink around the edge of that, so it should be waterproof. And I gotta make sure I finish the heat shrink part of those too. So what I had to do here, because these wires ran, you see they run through a tube all the way up to the side of my boat, all the way up to the front navigation light up there. What I had to do, of course, you run your, like I said, everything needs a positive and negative. So you run your positive and negative connection that starts from there. I ran those back down. Like I said, it's my positive and negative, my 20 gauge. It was a black and a red. I use red for my positive, black for my negative. And of course this light has a positive and negative. So I connected the positive from the front of the boat with the positive from the stern light, all around white light. I ran those two together. So like I said, I ran the positive from the front of the boat to the positive of the stern light and the all around white light, connected with the positive coming from my switch panel or fuse block that I had, fuse block. Ran that all together. So I got 3 connections. I got 3 positives all in one, okay? So same thing, negative from the front with the negative from the stern with the negative that came from the, like I said, switch panel that came from the original source, which is all connected all the way back to the bus bar. So I connected those 3 negatives together. So I got 3 positives, 3 negatives, connected all together. And that's how she runs. As long as everybody touches positive, everybody touches negative, it's all fine. And it works fine. My little light up front. Like, I don't know if you guys see under there, I call it like my venting area. And so just for ventilation. And just gives it a little lip over top there. Well guys, that's it for my electronics. No, it's not the best presentation as far as neatness. But like again, I'm only running 2 lights right now, and max I'll be running 4. As long as you know in your project which your wires go to, that's all that matters, okay? Best thing I can tell you to do is possibly, you know, tag it with small labels. You can put labels around it to show you which wire goes to what. Or you can definitely color code it, which will be really handy. And again, so you know which wires go to what. But that's it for me right now. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. I'll definitely try to answer those to the best of my ability. You guys definitely go check out the link below if you want to see Michael Lopez's page and Fire Ant Fishing, who helped me out. Again, I'll make a video of how I soldered all those connections. There was a lot of soldering. And again, if you guys like this little box idea here, by all means, go ahead and take it. It was very simple. Like I said, you just make a box using like I said, I use scrap angled aluminum. Literally made a box, used 1/4 inch wood paneling, sealed it, put carpet around it from spare carpet. I don't know if you can see spare carpet right there. But yeah, spare carpet. So carpet all around it, put it together. In order to put it together, pilot hole, and then I use exterior screws. You can't see them because they're gray, exterior screws, and they're actually everywhere. But like I said, it's good, you can't see it. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys got any questions, Like I said, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave a thumbs up if you like this video. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate the support. Guys, she's almost done. I appreciate all you guys who've subscribed to the channel and been leaving comments. I appreciate all the guys on the Tiny Boat Nation Facebook page. You guys make sure you check that out. And I'll see you guys next time.